literally physically still screaming at my television. Like the absolute audacity, the unmitigated gall of Sincere just, sitting there on a neon lit screen looking Melanie dead in the eye and trying to deflect his behavior by using therapy speak. I am spiraling. I am entirely unwell. I am currently drafting an email to my therapist about a man I have never even met because the manipulation was that triggering.
Oh my God. And meanwhile, I am still crying, laughing, like actively wiping tears from my eyes over Kenzie. The girl is treating romantic kisses like corporate handshakes at a networking event.
I know.
Like, I have never in my life seen a hustle quite like it on reality television. She is out here running a literal Fortune 500 company of chaos, and you kind of have to respect the sheer administrative effort it takes to lie to that many men simultaneously. It's a masterclass in the illusion of choice.
Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And babes, happy long weekend. We hope wherever you are listening right now, you have got something incredibly fun planned because we are already firmly, irreparably in weekend mode.
Oh, completely in weekend mode.
We are bringing you this conversation from the absolute trenches of reality TV despair, but we are doing it with a drink in hand.
So entirely in weekend mode. We are currently recording this with our signature watermelon tequila coolers on deck. I'm looking at mine right now. The condensation on the glass is just like perfect. The ice is clinking.
Yes, exactly.
It is exactly what is required to dissect the sheer toxicity we just witnessed.
It literally tastes like summer in a glass. If you haven't made one of these, Snark Squad, you are missing out. It's fresh, muddled watermelon, a very heavy, like emotionally supportive pour of tequila, a little squeeze of fresh lime, a touch of agave, and a Tajin rim because, quite frankly, after watching Sincere's behavior, we absolutely deserve it. Cheers to the Snark Squad, babes.
Cheers to surviving the week, honestly. And, cheers to our completely opposite schedules tomorrow.
Let's talk about the reality of our upcoming Friday, because while you are going to be staring down the barrel of a full, grueling Friday at your clinic, I get a glorious, sanctioned Friday half day.
Ugh, don't remind me. I am already mentally checked out. By noon tomorrow, I am ghost. I will simply cease to perceive the concept of labor.
I am so violently, viscerally jealous of you right now. Like, I have to be at the clinic all day. I have back-to-back patients. I'm going to be drilling teeth, doing, complex root canals, and trying to cheerfully talk about flossing to people who definitely, objectively do not floss.
They absolutely do not floss.
Right. And while I am doing that, you are basically already on vacation, probably lounging in a cactan somewhere.
Oh, you know exactly what is going to happen. I'm going to be sending you the most smug, unhinged, I'm already home text messages while you are literally elbow deep in a patient's mouth.
You are so mean.
I might even send like a beautifully framed photo of my feet kicked up on the coffee table just to really twist the knife.
You are genuinely evil, but it's fine. It is completely fine because the second my last patient leaves that chair, the 4th of July Lake House spiral officially begins. We have secured absolutely everything for this trip, babes.
We really have. And it took a logistical miracle, to be honest. The lake house is fully booked and paid for. The catering is finally ordered, which, by the way, was a nightmare of epic proportions because apparently everyone wants brisket on a holiday weekend.
It was so stressful.
But we got the elite barbecue place. We have the pontoon boat rides mapped out. We have the fireworks arsenal ready. And we have the seating charted for the late-night fire pit jets.
And most importantly, the lawn games are secured. Which means we urgently have to talk about the impending cornhole tournament because I am already terrified of our family dynamics. We are inviting people who do not know how to compartmentalize their competitive rage.
Look, theoretically, cornhole is meant to be a leisurely ambient activity. You hold a beer in one hand, you casually toss a beanbag with the other. But I already know exactly which uncles are going to take off their polarized sunglasses, stretch their rotator cuffs, and aggressively ruin the vibe.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
They literally think they're competing for a gold medal.
It's always the uncle with the bad knees. Suddenly he's out there doing mental trigonometry to calculate the wind resistance on a 12-ounce canvas bag. It goes from a fun, breezy summer barbecue to a hostile work environment in 10 minutes flat.
Right, like someone is going to pull a hamstring, and someone is going to stop speaking to their spouse for the rest of the weekend. That is the true magic of the long weekend. But honestly, speaking of hostile environments, despite all these romantic summer vibes we've been trying to cultivate with the lake house and the drinks, we have to address the elephant in the room. We are both still painfully, chronically single.
Tragically single. Like, it's actually sad, but honestly, We're not really looking. We are in our aggressively passive era right now.
Exactly. Like, I am not actively swiping. I am not going on coffee dates. But I am keeping the dating apps installed on my phone, just hiding in a folder, just in case. Because you never know when a millionaire sugar daddy might accidentally wander into the DMs and decide to fund my entire life.
It's called manifesting. It's all about the energy you put out.
Yeah.
You open the app once every, 4 days, just to check, scroll through exactly 3 profiles, immediately remember why modern dating is a waking, inescapable nightmare, and close it out of sheer self-preservation.
The bios I have seen this week are a sociological study in weaponized incompetence. I saw one guy whose bio was just, I will probably argue with you about movies you like.
What? Why?
Right. Why would I swipe right on a thread? Who is your marketing team? Why are you advertising that you are going to be exhausting to be around?
I saw one that sincerely said, looking for someone to go to Home Depot with. Sir, I am a medical professional. I am dentist. I am not going to Home Depot on a Saturday afternoon to look at drywall and ceiling fans with a total stranger.
No, absolutely no.
It is absolute delusion. We are manifesting wealth first, romance second at this point, because romance is clearly in a recession.
A total recession. My soulmate is out there somewhere, presumably also avoiding Home Depot, but until he finds me, I am perfectly happy judging other people's terrible, catastrophic romantic choices from the safety of my couch.
But babes, enough about our own summer love lives. Let's get into the villa, because somebody over there is about to make a terrible decision.
More like everybody over there is making terrible decisions. We need to dive straight into this movie night chaos. For anyone listening who might not be completely caught up on the mechanics of this show, movie night is the producer's ultimate weapon.
It is so brutal.
The Islanders are forced to sit outside, look at a giant jumbotron, and watch high-definition, edited montages of everything they've been doing behind each other's backs for the last 3 weeks.
It is architectural cruelty. It is designed to destroy relationships, and my God, did it ever. The psychological warfare was off the charts. We have to start with the Corbin confessions and Kenzie's absolute karma. Let's unpack the sheer lack of filter on this man.
Oh, totally. The jumbotron lights up, and they play Corbin's greatest hits from Casa Amor. Now, Casa Amor is the mid-season twist, where the original couples are separated into 2 different villas and introduced to a whole new batch of singles, the bombshells, specifically designed to test their loyalty.
Right.
Corbin went to Casa Amor and immediately forgot his own name, let alone the girl he left behind.
He had zero filter. On the screen, he is caught calling the main villa girls high school and saying the Casa bombshells are like college. I was appalled.
Yeah, that was wild.
The disrespect to just openly degrade the women you've been living with, the women you've been supposedly building connections with, just to hype up the new girls. It's gross. It's treating women like software updates.
Oh, wait, pause. I hear what you're saying about the disrespect, but let's analyze his actual strategy here, or rather his utter lack of one. I actually respected the fact that when the clip played, he didn't even try to backpedal.
Are you serious?
Most of these guys stutter and say it was taken out of context. Corbin just owned it. He admitted he forgot about Kenzie the second he walked into Casa. He explicitly stated he got the ick from her before they even left, and he assumed she'd be back in the main villa busting splits and throwing it back with other guys anyway. He didn't lie, though.
But it's so incredibly cruel. He basically justified his own wandering eye by creating this fictional narrative in his head that Kenzie was already cheating on him. He preemptively convicted her of a crime so he wouldn't feel guilty about his own behavior.
Which is brilliant gameplay, honestly.
Okay, yes, spoiler alert, she was sneaking around, but he didn't know that for sure at the time.
He was projecting. It is textbook projection. He was trying to preemptively defend his physical escalation with Parmita by painting Kenzie as this untrustworthy party girl. If he makes her the villain in his mind, he gets to be the carefree guy just exploring his options.
It's so gross.
But then we have to talk about Kata. The absolute mental gymnastics this girl was doing on the couches during this exact segment.
Oh my gosh, I was getting whiplash watching Kaida. When Corbin makes the high school comment on screen, Kaida gets furious. She's offended, she's yelling across the fire pit, she is defending the honor of the main villa girls.
Right, she's going off.
But then Zach, or someone else in the background, points out, wait, didn't you girls say the exact same thing? Didn't you say the Casa boys were more mature than us?
Right. The producers literally have footage of the girls sitting around saying the exact same thing, that the original boys were immature little boys and the Casa boys were grown, mature men.
It's insane.
But when she's called out, Kaida tries to argue that it's not the same thing. It is literally the exact same comment, just flipped. The cognitive dissonance is astounding.
It is the exact same thing. But, women are allowed to be hypocrites in the villa when their feelings are hurt. I don't make the rules. However, as messy as Corbin was, the real star of that segment wasn't even him. It was Kenzie. Kenzie's tangled web finally getting exposed to the entire villa was cinema.
Oh, absolutely. The Jumbotron exposed her as the absolute mastermind of chaos. We see the footage of her sneaking around with Corbin behind Caleb's back. And what makes it so diabolical is the overlapping timeline.
Yes, the timeline.
We see her telling Caleb that she feels a stronger connection with him, that he's her number one. And then, in the exact same afternoon, wearing the exact same outfit, she's pulling Corbin for a chat and telling him she feels stronger with him.
And she lied about the kiss. She kissed Corbin on the terrace, swore Jen to secrecy, and during movie night, Jen is sitting there on the couches looking so proud, like, oh my God, I kept your secret.
Jen is ridiculous.
Jen, nobody cares about your loyalty. You brought a man back from Casa Amor who looks like he hasn't showered in a month. Please sit down and focus on your own problems.
Jen was acting like she was the keeper of highly classified state secrets, when in reality, she was just an accomplice to a messy reality TV kiss. But Kenzie, we have to dissect Kenzie's defense on the couches when Caleb and Dylan are finally confronting her.
Oh, this was bad.
Caleb realizes he has completely wasted weeks of his life. He was putting all his emotional eggs in her basket, and she was treating him like an intern. And then Dylan, the guy she is currently coupled up with, is watching her kiss everyone.
And what does Kenzie say in her defense? Her actual, unhinged, out-of-body quote. A kiss is like a handshake in here.
I paused the TV. I literally had to grab the remote and pause the TV. Handshake. Kenzie is operating on an entirely different plane of reality. If a man was moving the way Kenzie is moving, the internet would be calling him a legend or demanding he be removed from the show for emotional terrorism.
Totally.
She is playing a ruthless, strictly numbers-based game. Her only downfall is her lack of transparency. She doesn't understand that you can't play a strategic game while trying to maintain the sweet, innocent girl persona.
Wait, you are giving her way too much credit. You're calling it a numbers-based game, but I think it's just pure recklessness. You can't just treat human beings as disposable assets. Caleb was genuinely hurt.
Well,
he looked at her and said she completely misled him, which she did. She took away his agency to explore other connections because she kept assuring him he was her priority. And then there's Dylan. Poor, pathetic, deeply confused Dylan.
Dylan is down absolutely astronomical.
Yeah.
Let's look at this from a psychological perspective. Dylan just watched a high-definition supercut of his girl telling 3 other men the exact same sweet nothings she's been feeding him every night. He watched her aggressively kiss Gal, Caleb, and Corbin.
It was so humiliating for him.
He confronts her, he puffs at his chest, he looks all mad for the cameras, and then what happens? By the end of the night, he's making out with her in bed, whispering that he still wants to see where things go.
Because he thinks he can fix her. It is the ultimate delusion, and we see this in real-world dating all the time. He sees this chaotic, non-committal girl who has essentially broadcasted to the entire world that she's just here for a good time and validation, and Dylan thinks, yes, my future wife, my love will be the thing that finally grounds her.
I completely disagree. I don't think he thinks he can fix her at all. It's pure survival instinct. Dylan isn't stupid. He knows the mechanics of the game. If he drops Kenzie right now, he is completely single. He has 0 other prospects in that villa.
That's true.
He is clinging to her because she is his only life raft to stay on the television show, even if that life raft is currently on fire, actively sinking, and made of lies.
That is so bleak. You strip all the romance out of everything. But speaking of things that are on fire and sinking into the abyss, we have to transition to the most devastating part of the night. Sincere, Melanie, and the tapes that ruined everything.
Oh, the Amora tapes? This was genuinely hard to watch. Sincere really thought he was going to skate by. He thought he had outsmarted the format. But the producers are ruthless, and they brought out the receipts. They showed a deeply comprehensive montage of all the footage of him and Amora during Casa Amor.
My heart physically hurt for Melanie. Snark Squad, if you ever needed proof that you cannot trust a man who speaks entirely in Instagram infographic quotes, this is it. The screen shows Sincere kissing Amora everywhere. In the bedroom, in the outdoor kitchen, on the daybeds. But it wasn't just the kissing. It was the emotional intimacy he was faking. He told Amora they were pouring into each other's cups. He told her she makes it effortless for him to open up.
Which is wildly manipulative, because that is exactly the narrative he uses to put Melanie down. In the main villa, he constantly makes it seem like being with Melanie is hard work. He tells Melanie she needs to open up more, that she's too guarded, that their connection takes effort.
It's so toxic.
But with Amora, suddenly it's just effortless. He uses the contrast to make Melanie feel inadequate. But the ultimate betrayal quote, the one that will go down in reality TV infamy, was at the Casa recoupling.
When he literally looked at Amora right before deciding to leave her and go back to Melanie and said, if I had more time, it would have been you.
And you could hear a pin drop in that villa. The silence was deafening. Because remember the context? He came back to the main villa alone. He stood in front of Melanie and all the other islanders and told her he chose her because she was his absolute number one.
He sold her a complete lie.
He sold her this beautiful cinematic narrative that she was the ultimate prize, that absence made his heart grow fonder. And the Jumbotron just revealed to Melanie and to millions of viewers that he only chose her because the clock ran out on his shiny new option.
It is pure emotional damage. Melanie is an incredibly strong, articulate woman, and Sincere is just dismantling her self-esteem piece by piece. She has spent her entire summer crying over a man who treats her as a default setting. And Sincere is such a master manipulator.
He really is.
When she confronts him, he doesn't just say, I messed up, I was horny, I made a mistake. No. He starts using all this therapy speak to justify his cheating.
Oh, the weaponization of therapy speak in modern dating is a plague. And Sincere is patient zero. Notice how he tried to reframe his actions to avoid accountability. He sat down with Melanie later by the fire pit and literally blamed his weeks of betrayal and lying on being a people pleaser.
A people pleaser. I was screaming at my television. You weren't trying to please people, Sincere. You were trying to please yourself.
Exactly.
You wanted to make out with Amora because you found her attractive, so you did. Do not try to dress up your blatant disrespect as some tragic character flaw where you just care too much about others.
It's a brilliant, albeit toxic, PR move. He's weaponizing vulnerability. He's essentially saying, oh, I have this deep-seated trauma from my youth that makes me pathologically afraid to let people down, so I accidentally made out with a bombshell for 3 days straight because I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
It's so absurd.
It's absolute garbage. It completely removes his agency and makes him the victim of his own psychology. And then when she doesn't buy that, he tries to deflect by bringing up Melanie's innocent challenge kiss.
Which was so infuriating. Let's be clear on the facts. Melanie had one kiss with Corbin during a mandatory villa game, the challenge. And the second it was over, she was completely honest about it. She wasn't promising Corbin a future outside the villa. She wasn't sneaking around in the dark.
Right, it's not the same at all.
And Sincere has the nerve to say, well, you kissed someone too. What about you? It's textbook gaslighting. But Melanie's speech at the fire pit, babes, it needs to be transcribed, framed, and put in the reality TV Hall of Fame.
It was a masterclass in establishing boundaries. Break down exactly what she said, because it resonates so deeply with anyone who has ever settled in a relationship.
She stands up, completely devastated, tears in her eyes, and says to his face, being chosen is not a prize. I would rather be told the truth. I would rather not look like a fool to America and then be chosen.
Chills. Absolute chills. Because she hit the nail directly on the head. He treated picking her like he was handing her an Academy Award. He expected gratitude. He thought that because he ultimately selected her, all his prior sins should be washed away.
Exactly.
But she correctly identified that he was just using her as a safety net. And meanwhile, we have to talk about Amora, who is sitting on the sidelines watching this entire relationship implode.
Oh my God, Amora.
Amora is literally laughing during the clips and giving side commentary to the other girl saying, rejection is protection.
Amora urgently needs to read the room. She was practically doing a victory lap on the couches because she felt validated that Sincere actually liked her, completely ignoring the fact that another woman is having her heart ripped out of her chest 10 feet away. Amora lacked so much empathy in that moment.
Let's push back on that, though. Why should Amora have empathy for Melanie? Amora's playing a game for $100,000 and a career as an influencer.
I mean, human decency.
She was brought into that villa specifically to break up a couple. Sincere played Amora too. He promised her the world and then dumped her on national television to go back to his safe bet. So if Amora wants to sit there and feel a little bit of vindication that the man who dumped her is getting exposed as a fraud, I can't entirely blame her.
I see your point, but laughing while another woman cries is just dark energy. Speaking of dark, the aftermath of this fight was just profoundly sad. Melanie runs off crying. She tries to find a place to sleep away from Sincere, to just have some space.
Right, she goes to the daybed.
She goes up to the Soul Ties daybed, which is this isolated balcony area just to sleep alone, and there is literally a wild owl up there.
A literal nocturnal bird of prey. I cannot make this up. It was cinematic perfection.
This poor girl is going through the worst emotional trauma of her life on national television. She just wants a moment of peace to process her heartbreak, and nature itself says absolutely not. The owl is hooting at her. She's terrified.
I was dying laughing, but also I felt so bad.
She's forced to retreat back downstairs and pull blankets over the outdoor patio couches, sleeping outside in the damp night air like she's on a wilderness survival show.
And what is Sincere doing? Sincere, the man who caused all this destruction, the architect of her misery, is sleeping completely comfortably in a plush, air-conditioned villa bed.
It's so symbolic.
If you ever needed a visual metaphor for how this relationship functions, that was it. She suffers in the cold, dealing with the consequences of his actions while he sleeps peacefully, entirely unbothered.
And then the next morning, this is where the delusion peaks. Sincere wakes up and thinks he can just fix months of psychological manipulation with a basic breakfast. He walks over to where she is shivering on the patio, and he brings her a plate of scrambled eggs and an avocado.
Let's be specific. Sliced avocado. Not even mashed into guacamole with lime and salt. Just bare, unseasoned sliced avocado. The absolute bare minimum of culinary effort.
Snark Squad, if someone you're dating ever brings you sliced avocado after deeply betraying your trust, take it as a sign to pack your bags and leave the state.
Seriously.
A basic breakfast does not fix emotional damage. Sincere is treating this like he forgot to text her back for a few hours, not like he humiliated her in front of millions of viewers. Melanie sits up and tells him he deserves to lose her. She says, "You made your bed, you lay in it."
It was a triumphant moment of self-worth. But then the producers cut to the very end of the episode. She's sitting in the beach hut confessional, and she quietly says she doesn't know what to do.
Ugh, I know.
Which, if you speak reality TV, means she is absolutely 100% going to take him back before the next recoupling.
I know she is, and it hurts my soul. She's deeply trauma bonded to this man. We are watching a smart, beautiful, emotionally intelligent woman completely lose her mind over a guy who brings absolutely nothing to the table except constant stress, anxiety, and plain scrambled eggs. It is a tragedy.
It's the textbook cycle of toxic reality TV romance. But let's transition, because we have to talk about the dynamic between Anaya and KC, which took a massive, entirely bizarre turn in the middle of all this chaos.
It really did. So movie night is finally wrapping up, the dust is settling, and out of nowhere, Anaya walks right up to KC in front of all the men and delivers this incredibly calm, measured, articulate public apology.
She stands there and says she is genuinely sorry for standing over him, getting in his face, and being disrespectful during their argument the night before.
I was so surprised.
And KC, to his credit, accepts it immediately, and then he apologizes for his own disrespectful comments when he brought a girl back from Casa Amor. They hug it out, the tension dissipates, and all the boys are sitting around the fire pit whispering, "Wow, that was so mature of Anaya. She really grew."
I was so incredibly happy watching that. I just want peace in the villa. I want Anaya to be happy, and I want KC to stop looking so miserable all the time. I choose to believe Anaya is just emotionally mature. She went to bed, she reflected on her actions, and she realized that matching his toxic energy wasn't serving her peace.
You're so sweet.
Plus, her new guy, Carl, is giving her the comfort and security she never ever got from KC, so she feels emotionally safe enough to let the anger go. It's growth.
Okay, that is a beautiful, optimistic, incredibly naive narrative. I love that you believe in the inherent goodness of reality television contestants. Now, let me tell you what actually happened.
Okay, here we go. The Snark Squad is about to get a lecture on media literacy. Put on your tinfoil hats, everyone.
It is not a conspiracy theory. It is understanding how television is made. Listeners, you have to look at the real-world timeline of how this show airs. Viewers online have mapped this out meticulously. When the first half of movie night aired on television 2 days ago, there was a massive public outcry on social media about Anaya standing over KC, yelling in his face and treating him terribly.
Right, people were really mad at her.
People were calling her behavior toxic, and some were even calling it borderline abusive.
It was definitely aggressive. She was standing over him while he was seated, which is a classic intimidation tactic.
Exactly. And typically, these shows film with a very quick turnaround, usually a 24 to 48-hour delay between filming and airing. The prevalent theory, which makes absolute undeniable sense, is that the production team saw the audience backlash online.
You really think they interfered?
They saw that Anaya, who's a fan favorite, was getting destroyed in the court of public opinion. So they paused filming, or a producer pulled Anaya aside the next morning and essentially said, hey, your edit is tanking right now. You're looking like the villain. You need to go apologize to Casey on camera right now in front of everyone to clean this up.
Wait, you really think a producer completely orchestrated and forced that entire apology? You don't think she felt a single ounce of genuine remorse?
I think it was 100% a crisis PR move orchestrated by production. Think about her demeanor earlier in the night. She was completely silent. She was fuming. Human emotion does not naturally pivot from pure, unadulterated rage to zen-like forgiveness in the span of 3 hours without a producer whispering in your ear.
I mean, I guess that makes sense timeline-wise.
It was like watching a corporate crisis PR firm force a CEO to do a hostage-style apology video to save their stock prices. They needed to clean up the optics so the network doesn't have to deal with think pieces about toxic behavior.
Honestly, you make a very compelling argument, and you are probably right, but I don't even care. Even if it was produced, I'm just glad the storyline is over. And frankly, the best part of that whole arc was Carl. I loved Carl in this episode. Carl was a walking green flag amidst a sea of red.
Carl was completely unbothered by the drama. He was practically vibrating with calm energy.
Exactly. After the apology, Anaya goes to Carl, and she's worried. She says she's scared that her getting in Casey's face gave Carl the ick. She's showing vulnerability, and Carl doesn't judge her. He just validates her feelings.
He was very supportive.
He tells her she put her heart out there with Casey, it bit her in the behind, and it's completely understandable that she snapped under the pressure. He didn't get defensive. He didn't tell her she was crazy. He just offered a safe space. Casey would have immediately turned that into a lecture, but Carl just held her.
Now, here's where we look at strategy. Carl knows exactly what his role is. He was voted into the villa by America as a bombshell. He identified Anya as a strong player who was going through a breakup. He secured his spot by coupling up with her, and now he is playing the supportive partner perfectly.
Can't he just be a nice guy?
He is being the anti-KC. Whether his feelings are genuine or it's just brilliant gameplay to secure his place in the finale, it's working flawlessly.
I am choosing to believe it's genuine love. But we have to move on to the missing pieces of movie night. Let's talk about Zach, Kata, and the phantom footage.
Oh, this infuriated me on a cellular level. During movie night, Zach gets exposed for being highly intimate with a bombshell named Alana during Casa Amor. We are talking kissing, cuddling in bed, whispering sweet nothings, the whole 9 yards.
And Kata acts mad for exactly 2 seconds. She confronts him, her voice raises a little bit, he gives this pathetic, fumbling excuse, and she completely folds. She forgives him instantly.
It was so disappointing.
She even refuses to let him sleep on the Soul Ties bed for a night as punishment. She demands he sleep in bed with her.
I lost all respect for Kata's gameplay in that exact moment. She spent the entire season building this brand as a strong, independent girl boss who doesn't take nonsense from men, and the second she is actually tested, she just rolls over.
Absolutely rolls over.
But the absolute worst part is the defense Zach uses to get out of trouble. He uses a logistical technicality.
It was so incredibly slimy. Because Alana ended up leaving Casa Amor on night 2, she self-evicted and went home early. Zach looks Kata dead in the eye and says, well, I couldn't have brought her back to the villa anyway, so it doesn't matter. I was always coming back to you.
It is a complete and total deflection. He takes credit for a moral choice he never even had to make. He is acting like he valiantly, heroically chose Kata over Alana, when in reality, Alana completely removed herself from the equation. She wasn't an option anymore.
Right. If she had stayed, he absolutely would have brought her back.
Yeah.
And Kata just buys it wholesale.
It's the illusion of choice again. He makes it seem like he chose her, when she was just the default option left standing. But the real scandal here, the thing that is tearing up Reddit, is what they didn't show on movie night. The missing tapes.
Thank you. Where was the footage of Zach and Bryce?
Seriously, where was it?
Listeners at home know exactly what we are talking about. Zach and Bryce have been the background instigators of this entire season. They've been gossiping, twisting words, plotting against other couples, and hyping up guys like Sincere and Casey to make terrible choices.
They are the puppet masters of the villa.
They're the ones whispering in the guy's ears saying, yeah, man, explore your options. Don't settle down.
Bryce literally lied about what Casey said 2 weeks ago, twisted it, and fed it to Trinity, which started a massive house-wide fight. Zach has been pulling guys for secret chats and plotting alliances in the corners. But did production show a single second of any of that on the Jumbotron? Absolutely not.
They gave them a highly protected edit. They showed absolutely nothing damaging about Bryce and Trinity or Zach's instigating. It's like they were wearing Teflon.
Because production has clearly chosen their finalists. The producers want Bryce and Trinity and Zach and Kata sitting on those couches in the finale, competing for the money. If they blow up Zach and Bryce's games on movie night, the whole villa turns against them. They become villains, and the audience votes them out.
That makes me so mad.
It is blatant producer favoritism. And as an analytical viewer, I find it deeply insulting to my intelligence. Show us the mess.
It is so unfair to the Islanders who actually got aired out and had their lives ruined for our entertainment. If you are going to destroy Sincere and Melanie, you have to destroy Zach and Bryce too. But before we get to our awards, we have to quickly touch on the villa leftovers.
Oh, the stragglers.
The couples who are just awkwardly taking up space. Let's talk about Caleb and Jaden.
An absolute snooze fest. Caleb finally, after weeks of delusion, realizes he is carrying the entire weight of this romantic connection. He sits down with the boys and sadly admits that Jaden never compliments him, she never initiates physical contact, she never asks him some deep questions.
Because Jaden does not like him. And she never has. We see this phenomenon in social dynamics all the time, survival mode.
Yes.
Jaden just wanted a ticket into the main villa. She survived Casa Amor by attaching herself to Caleb. She got her screen time. She secured her Instagram followers. And now she is doing the absolute bare minimum to coast until the end of the season.
Exactly. It's parasitic gameplay. She's draining his energy to stay in a nice house in Fiji. And then we have Parmita and Corbin. They had a conversation on the daybeds about their families that was so incredibly dry, it practically dehydrated me through the television screen.
They were trying so hard to have a deep connection. They were talking about having nonchalant dads. It was the most boring, surface-level attempt at depth I have ever seen.
It was painful.
Corbin literally said out loud that he doesn't have a bucket of deep facts to pull from. He essentially admitted his brain is empty. Just admit you guys are together for purely physical reasons. Stop trying to fake an emotional bond and move on.
Yeah. It is pure, unadulterated lust. There is zero intellectual substance there. Which perfectly sets us up to transition into analyzing who is actually playing this game well. Let's get into our first debate, grafter of the day.
Yes, grafter of the day. Who put in the most work romantically, strategically, or just purely for survival, and who completely fumbled the bag? I will go first. My pick for most work goes to Carl.
Wait, really? Carl? Make that make sense.
Think about it. Carl is operating on stealth mode. He effortlessly swooped into the villa. He immediately identified that Anaya was emotionally exhausted by Casey, and he just became the anti-Casey.
Okay, and listen.
He listens, he validates her feelings, he doesn't get defensive, he rubs her back when she cries. He secured his spot in that villa without breaking a single sweat or starting a single fight. He put in the emotional work to make Anaya feel safe, and it paid off massively. That is top-tier grafting.
I see your point. Carl is playing a very smart, very quiet game. But you are rewarding passivity. My pick for most work is absolutely Genzi.
You are picking Kenzie over Carl. How does making out with 4 different people qualify as hard work and not just absolute chaotic recklessness?
Because of the logistics. You have to respect the sheer hustle of juggling Caleb, Corbin, Dylan, and Gail simultaneously. That requires complex scheduling, it requires an impeccable memory so you don't repeat the same lies to different men, and it requires physical stamina.
Oh my God.
She is telling one guy he's her number 1 by the pool, sprinting to the fire pit to kiss another guy, and promising a third guy a future before dinner is even served. Yes, it blew up in her face spectacularly on movie night, but the sheer amount of grafting she did in a 48-hour period is unprecedented in the history of this franchise.
I mean, when you put it like that, she was basically doing shift work in that villa. She's clocking in and clocking out. I hate the collateral damage she caused, but I guess I have to respect the grind.
Okay, what about biggest fumble? Who completely dropped the bag this episode?
For me, it's Sincere, and it is not even a competition.
Oh, without a doubt. He was holding a winning lottery ticket and decided to use it as a napkin. Exactly. He had Melanie completely locked in. She was devoted to him. He could have coasted to the finale, won the public vote, and easily competed for the $100,000. But his need to people please, which we all know is his coded language for his need to make out with every single bombshell that walks through the front door, completely ruined his safety in the game.
He really ruined it.
He got greedy. He wanted the main villa wife for the prize money and the Casa Amor girlfriend for his ego, and he ultimately lost both.
He fumbled a sure thing because he couldn't control his own ego. It's tragic, really. All right, moving on. Let's do the summer romance report. We are going to rate the major couples left in the villa on chemistry, trust, chaos, delusion, and outside the villa potential.
Let's start with the disaster class themselves, Sincere and Melanie.
Okay, delusion is an absolute 10-10 for both of them. Melanie is deeply delusional for thinking he is a good guy deep down who just makes mistakes. And Sincere is delusional for thinking a plate of sliced avocado fixes public humiliation.
Trust is a hard 0. In the negatives, actually. Chemistry might be a 6, mostly based on trauma bonding.
Yeah.
But outside the villa potential, -0.
Totally.
The exact second they leave that villa, get their phones back, and Sincere's Instagram DMs open up to thousands of women, this relationship is evaporating into thin air.
Next up, Zach and Kata.
Chemistry is actually pretty high. They seem physically very in sync with each other. But chaos is brewing just under the surface because it's built on a foundation of omission.
Yes, because Kata is completely blind to Zach's subtle misogyny and his background game playing. She folded so fast when he got exposed. Delusion is an 8-10 for Kata, genuinely thinking Zach wouldn't have brought Alana back if she hadn't self-evicted.
Oh, she's so delusional for that.
Outside potential is incredibly low because eventually Kata's going to watch the show back on streaming, see how he spoke about her to the boys, and realize she got completely played.
Agreed. Okay, let's score Kenzie and Dylan.
Chaos is 10-10. Maximum unadulterated chaos. Dylan's delusion is off the charts. He literally thinks he can tame a girl who compared physical intimacy to a corporate handshake.
Trust is a 0. Chemistry is high only because Dylan is projecting his desperation onto her. Outside potentials. They will not even make it to the airport together. They will break up in the holding hotel.
Finally, the default parents of the villa, Bryce and Trinity.
Trust is 10-10. They never argue.
No.
But chemistry. It feels incredibly forced and performative to me.
You always say this. You hate them. Why can't you just let people be happy and boring?
I don't hate them. I just see the strategy.
Yeah.
They were playing the mom and dad of the villa role explicitly for the prize money. They never have conversations of actual substance. It's always just sitting by the pool saying, I like you too, I'm so glad we're us.
Well, maybe they just really like each other.
They know that steady, drama-free, boring couples usually win this show, and they are sticking strictly to the script. Outside potential. I give it exactly 3 months of sponsored Instagram posts for teeth whitening kits before they announce a quiet, mutual uncoupling.
You are so deeply cynical, but honestly, looking at the track record of the show, you are probably right. Let's get into our villa hot takes. Each of us is going to share 2 deeply unpopular opinions about the episode and defend them passionately to the Snark Squad. I'll go first.
Let's hear it. Astonish me.
Hot take number 1, Melanie is actually the strongest girl in the villa.
How on earth can you defend that?
Yes.
She literally slept outside in the damp cold next to an owl and then forgave the guy who put her there for the price of an avocado. That is the opposite of strength.
Hear me out. I know she struggles to execute the final breakup, but she articulated her boundaries better than anyone else has this entire season. Her speech, being chosen as not a prize, was profoundly strong and self-aware. She recognizes her worth intellectually, even if her heart is trauma-bonded to this toxic man.
I mean, I guess the speech was good.
It takes incredible emotional strength to stand up in front of all your peers and refuse to accept the narrative that she should be grateful a man came back to her. She just needs the logistical strength to walk out the door, which is the hardest part.
Okay, I'll accept that. It was a very good speech, even if the follow-through was weak.
Thank you. Hot take number 2. Dylan is the biggest victim of the season, and Caleb just needs to go home because he is way too nice for reality television.
Oh, absolutely not. I reject that entirely. Caleb, yes, he's too nice. He needs to go back to whatever wholesome Midwest town he came from. But Dylan is not a victim. A victim is someone who does not know they are being wronged.
But he was so sad.
Dylan watched Kenzie's entire highlight reel of deception on a massive screen. He saw her kiss 3 other men, and he still actively chose to crawl back into bed with her and cuddle. Dylan knows exactly who she is, and he's actively choosing the punishment. He is a volunteer, not a victim.
But he's just a hopeless romantic who wants to see the good in her. He thinks love conquers all.
He's a guy who wants screen time and knows that staying coupled up is the only way to get it. All right, it's my turn. My hot takes. Number 1, Kenzie is the absolute best Islander this season.
You are completely unhinged for that take.
I am dead serious. Let's look at the double standards of reality TV tropes. If a man moved the exact way Kenzie moved, making out with 4 different people, keeping complex secrets, manipulating timelines, and delivering iconic deadpan lines like a kiss is a handshake, he would be cemented in reality TV history as an iconic, legendary villain.
That's probably true.
But because she's a woman, people just think she's messy. She is providing pure, unadulterated entertainment. We need chaotic, morally ambiguous people on this show to make it work. She's doing the Lord's work for the producers, and we should thank her for her service.
I hate that you make sense. She really is carrying the drama of the season on her back. If she wasn't there, we'd just be watching Bryce and Trinity talk about how much they like each other. Okay, what is your second take?
My second hot take is that Anaya's apology was 100% written by a producer. I already laid out the timeline of the PR crisis management, but I will defend this to the death. The exact phrasing she used, the very public nature of stopping everyone at the fire pit, the immediate, uncharacteristic acceptance by Casey.
You really think it was all fake?
It was a heavily orchestrated, heavily rehearsed scene designed specifically to stop internet think pieces about abuse in the villa. Reality TV is a produced product, and that was the most visibly produced moment of the entire season.
I am still firmly holding on to my naive belief that people can just grow and heal overnight, but you ruin everything with your logic. All right, let's wrap up our analysis by looking ahead. It is time for tomorrow night. We are looking ahead to the upcoming recoupling and dumping, which is going to be a bloodbath.
It is going to be brutal. What is your biggest prediction for tomorrow?
My biggest prediction is that G and Jen, or Caleb and Jaden, will be dumped as the least compatible couples. Jen just walks around shushing people and brings zero romance to the screen, and Jaden is barely even speaking to Caleb anymore. They are taking up valuable bed space. They are dead weight to the narrative.
I completely agree. The villa is way too crowded right now. We urgently need to trim the fat, and those couples are giving us absolutely nothing in terms of storyline. What is your biggest red flag going into tomorrow night?
Sincere pulling Melanie aside and telling her, "It's always been you."
I know that sounded like an active threat.
It really did. It didn't sound romantic at all. It sounded like a horror movie villain saying, "You will never escape this cycle of emotional turmoil. I will always be here to ruin your summer and drain your energy." It's terrifying.
My biggest green flag. Honestly, Anaya and Casey finally hugging it out and releasing each other from their toxic loop, whether it was produced or not, the sheer energy in the villa shifted when they just agreed to stop fighting. It was exhausting to watch them tear each other down, and I'm so glad they are finally free of each other's orbits.
Okay, hit me with your unhinged theory. Give me one completely chaotic scenario that could actually happen tomorrow.
Oh, I have been waiting for this. Here is my unhinged but highly plausible theory. Sincere will miraculously survive the dumping tomorrow night because the Islanders will be too cowardly to vote him and Melanie out. Then, exactly 2 days from now, a brand new, stunning bombshell will walk through the front door, and Sincere will immediately, without hesitation, dump Melanie for her.
Oh my God.
And to make it worse, despite all this chaos, Zach and Bryce will somehow glide cleanly to the finale and win the whole show, despite being the invisible background instigators of every single fight this season.
That is so dark. That is a dystopian ending, and it is so entirely possible that it makes me sick to my stomach. I hate it so much.
It's the reality of the game. We call it exactly like we see it.
All right, Snark Squad, that is our time for today. But before we log off for the long weekend, we urgently need to hear from you. Hit us up in the comments or slide into our DMs. We want to know your thoughts. Who is actually winning the villa right now? Is it Bryce and Trinity just by default because everyone else is toxic? Is it Carl just coasting smoothly on good vibes and back rubs? Let us know your theories.
Also, tell us your long weekend plans. Are you surviving family chaos and competitive uncles like we are? Or are you actually spending it peacefully with friends? And most importantly, we need you to settle a debate. What is your ultimate, unquestionable go-to lawn game at a summer barbecue?
Because we are locked in a serious debate right now. I say cornhole is the supreme game. It's classic, it's accessible, but you are a total bocce elitist.
Bocce requires actual finesse. It requires strategy. And most importantly, you can play it with a drink firmly in one hand without throwing out your shoulder. Cornhole is just aggressive, uncalculated beanbag tossing. Tell us who is right in the comments.
Make sure you subscribe, leave us a glowing 5-star review, and please share this chat with another messy babe in your life who loves Villa Chaos as much as we do.
And we want to leave you with one final, deeply provocative thought to mull over while you are eating potato salad this weekend. If movie night exposes everyone's absolute worst, most secretive moments, What would your personal dating history look like if it was played on a high-definition jumbotron in front of all your exes?
Oh my God, I would have to fake my own death and enter the witness protection program.
I would simply have to leave the country. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Stay flirty, stay chaotic, and we'll see you on the Snark side.